So you have an amazing startup company, but you're struggling to fundraise from investors. Well, early in my career, I felt the same. I was struggling significantly with startup fundraising. I had a good startup opportunity, which, by the way, later on was proven to be successful. And I went to hundreds of investor meetings and I kept getting no. It was tough. It was such a frustrating experience. And through hundreds of no's, I slowly learned the mistakes I was making in startup fundraising. And I've learned how to properly fundraise. And I've been able to consistently do so. And I've raised over $50 million to date. The point is, startup fundraising is a learned skill. And mastering that skill is freedom. Working with hundreds of startups, here are the top 5 startup fundraising mistakes I often see founders make. Number 1, investment deck and pitch mistakes. Pitching a big dream first and then focusing on the details. Think about going to buy a Tesla. Is the sales guy going to first pitch you the seats and the internals and the motor and the warranty? Or is he first going to show you the amazing Tesla and how it looks overall, get you comfortable in the seat, and then focus on the details as you start asking questions? That is the same mindset that you need to bring to your investment pitch. Keep your deck short, not more than 10 to 12 slides. If you can't make your case in 10 to 12 slides, you have a problem. That tells me you're not really good at painting visions and potentially in executing in general. Keep the amount of text limited. Every word counts. Make the graphics as simple as possible. They have to look professional, but simple. The focus is not on the graphics. The slide should be self-explanatory. If you have to sit in the room for the investor to understand what you're trying to say in the slide, you need to redo that slide. Slides should not have conflicting statements. You need to review your entire slide deck and you need to make sure that your story is cohesive and it makes sense. Finally, slides should not introduce concerns. Sometimes what you perceive as an opportunity can be perceived on the other side with the investor as a risk, which brings me to the next point. Mistake number 2, failing to think like your potential investor. So one of the things I often see is founders, they don't understand how their statements are perceived by the potential investor. So they think they killed it with this amazing statement when in fact they just killed the meeting and they don't even realize it. Learning how to evaluate opportunities and risks in the same way your potential investors do is one of the hardest skills to master. I teach a lot of those techniques, how to penetrate test your statements in my Startup 10X program. Mistake number 3, not building an investor mindset profile. Investment is an emotional decision. Having that investor mindset profile in place will significantly increase the chances of you doing a successful startup fundraise. If you want to understand how to build an investor mindset profile, check out another video I made exactly on that. Mistake number 4, not controlling your investment round process. You need to understand in detail how angel investors and VCs make decisions. What does the process look like? You will then leverage this knowledge to control your investment process. You'll be able to effectively communicate with investors and you'll know what to say and when to say it. Mistake number 5, not exercising correctly the art of compelling triggers and FOMO. Investment decisions are made by people. People default to their do-nothing comfort zone. They only act when there is a compelling trigger that forces them to act. Why should I make this investment now? Why not wait for 3 months and see where it goes? You need to have a very good answer for that, and if you don't have one, you need to manufacture an artificial compelling trigger. FOMO, the fear of missing out, is one of the most famous compelling triggers out there. But contrary to what founders think, it's only as effective as the credibility it actually projects. Once again, when you understand the investor process, that's when you can leverage it to introduce the FOMO at the right time. And remember, when you play the FOMO game, you have to believe it yourself for the investor to actually believe it as well. In other words, you have to be able to walk away from a deal in order to get the deal. Summarizing, avoid those 5 critical startup fundraising mistakes and you will 10x your chance to successfully raise money. Leave me a comment in the chat below. Which one of these 5 mistakes did you make and what adjustments did you make because of it? And if you found this useful, be sure to subscribe to our channel and join our community at startup10x.com to learn more about startup fundraising, product market fit, and early stage sales and marketing.